do not do 50 different types of client acquisition strategies. I see a lot of people spinning their wheels, sending out cold DMs, and then next week they'll do cold email, and then they'll run an ad for a week, and then they'll do cold calls for a couple days, and then they'll do this and that, and they're like, I can't figure out why any of it works. Most of the time, what you're lacking is time and reps with one client acquisition channel. Like, figure one of them out. So don't get distracted. Even if you're in a niche and you're within your thing, don't get distracted by multiple ways to get clients. Get really good at one.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to season 4 of Legacy's Journey, where we talk about creating what outlives you. I'm your host, Cameron Williams, owner of Kinley Consulting, where we focus on strategic financial growth for marketing agencies so that they can live the dream life they deserve and not be a slave to their business. And we do that through CFO services, accounting, and consulting. Now, this is season 4, where we are focusing on companies who've either bought, sold, are scaling really fast, or just overall excelling. And so, I had to, this season 4, I met a couple people. I'm outside a little bit more. And so a couple weeks ago, just got back from this crazy 2-week trip. And so I just joined this new community. Shout out to Josh Nelson, 7-Figure Agency. And so, every day at the bar, something happened. I don't know how that worked, but every day it did. And so there was these 2 guys, and they was just chilling. And so, I was doing the awkward thing and just walked up and was like, hey, what's up? And started talking. For the next 30 minutes, we was just laughing, showing out, having a good time. So I'm like, bro, we got to get y'all on the podcast. They shared a little bit of their story. I'm not going to spoil it. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Duncan and Benjamin to the podcast.
What's up, man? That was an amazing intro. I feel like I should have practiced or prepared something there. I'm nervous now. You're too good.
See, they got jokes. So Benjamin, we had to super triple check to make sure he was going to be here. Duncan was all in for it, but Benjamin was like, hey, I'm telling you right now, if I don't get that invite, you ain't finna see me.
Yeah, I didn't even think Benjamin was going to be here today. He said he was busy, and I was like,
See,
"We have a
I'm always
podcast."
I'm always busy.
see, that's the love right there, all at the bar. I don't know what was magical about that bar. All right, so let's get into it. So first and foremost, tell us name of the company, and who you serve.
Sure. So, Duncan Metz, co-founder of the Mobile Home Guys, which, as you might imagine, we help people that want to sell mobile homes, primarily dealerships, kind of like a car dealership. If you were to put it in another category that's similar, very similar business model to a car dealership, where they just have homes on the lot instead of cars. And we help them obviously through marketing, right? You're talking to agencies. We're an agency niche specific to that niche. And this is my co-founder, Benjamin. And yeah. Got anything, Benjamin?
Nah, you nailed it.
Oh, man.
You even said my name. What more do I need to do?
Just trying to make sure I support you. I'm trying to be a supportive business partner here.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So as you can see, this is going to be a funny episode. Okay. So tell us, what made you guys start the agency in the first place? So from what I remember, you were doing something else. What was that thing? And then what made you, number 1, decide to start the business? Number 2, niche down to this one. And 3, decide to work together.
Yeah. So, I've been in marketing in one way or another for probably 6 to 8 years, doing it for my own businesses or for other small businesses. And when Benjamin and I met, I actually slid into his DMs and was like, hey, do you need any photography services for your local business? And that's how, nothing crazy there, just a business. And he said, yeah, that's a great idea. I should probably have a photographer at my grand opening for my store. I was like, yeah. So I came out and did that for him, and it developed into a really cool, obviously business relationship, but also a friendship, if I could say that, Benjamin. We're friends, right?
Well, we're working on it.
Most days. And basically, I was taking a few steps out of agency life. I was like, frankly, I was running away from agency life because I like building. I like the idea of an agency. I like the idea of being able to build systems that produce money kind of on autopilot, right? Like that is just it's like magic to me, but I do not like client facing relationship stuff. Like I can communicate it, I can sell it, but then I don't want to have anything to do with the client side. So obviously that's a lot of business. And basically Benjamin was like, hey man, I think we can be super rich if we just start an agency. And I was like, please no, please no, I don't want to do it. And he wore me down and convinced me by saying that he would do all the client facing stuff. And all I had to do was marketing and sales. And it's basically worked out like that. And occasionally I got to get on a client call, but that's how we came to be business partners. He convinced me that agency life was not as bad as I thought it was, and then he came to find out that it was as bad because he had to handle all the client stuff. So,
Yeah,
uh,
and the way that I got into it is I saw Duncan like building all this stuff out, or at least attempting to.
mhm.
And he tried to sell me high level. He was like, "It's only $97 a month, man. It's like you can just buy it from me." Like he tried to sell me high level, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty cool." And then I went in and
Bought it yourself.
I bought it myself. And then a month later I bought the like the top tier. I was like, yeah, I mean, I could sell that. Like I did it for my local business. I built out a bunch of stuff like within like 2 months, like everything that I needed. I learned the whole program from front to back. And then I was like, we should sell this to other local businesses like mine. And then that's kind of how the conversation started, and then it kind of progressed into uh my industry sucks. Let's do this industry instead.
Yeah.
um, and then we chose an industry, and then funny enough, we joined 7FA after, like maybe a month or two after. Um, like we were just kind of getting started, and it was like, oh, you got to have it. Like the whole core is like you got to have a niche. And it was like, oh, well, we already got that down. Like
Yeah.
we are
Check.
we are
Yeah.
miles ahead. Like we're just seeing everybody like find a niche. Like what am I gonna do? Like everybody in the room looks like a niche. Like everybody's serving their local market, and
Mm.
it was nice to be a little bit ahead, at least on that front of like
Yeah, it was really
narrowing down.
interesting. That first event, it felt like we had a lot of pieces in place and we're ready to scale. We were more ready to accept a lot of the feedback from that seven-figure agency group because we'd been getting hammered by our friend Allie and like other mentors and people about like picking a niche already. And we went in prepared to take the advice and the frameworks that they had to actually plug in and grow as quickly as we have. A lot of other people were still kind of trying to figure out which direction to head, but we already had one. So I think that's a big part of why we've grown as fast as we have. So.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of how to approach the next question. So, okay, well, you come in the gates. I know who we want to target. So now all we have to do is just run the play. We just got to run the offensive plays, coach. Tell us about what it's like to experience scaling that fast, because there are some people who are like, man, it took me 3, 4, 5 years. There are some people who are like, man, from this time last year to now was a crazy ride. Like, how did you manage that? What were the conversations like? How did you have to change your team structure? What did that look like?
Yeah, I can go first. I think that uh, the thing that I come back to over and over again is how comfortable you have to be with being uncomfortable. Like you grow really quick while you don't have team, and then you're doing all the work and all the sales and all the fulfillment and putting out all the fires. And that's uncomfortable, but you're making good money. It's like that was kind of the first level that we hit, and we just had the conversation of like, hey man, like how big do you want to make this thing? Like where are we headed? What do we really want? And what do we need to do to get there? And again, it's like seven-figure agency has answers for that. They described what it was going to feel like when we hit 30K, 40K. They were like, it's going to suck for these reasons, and here's how you get to the next step. And Benjamin and I, we talk all day, every day, like texting. He'll call me 5, 6 times a day if we're in the middle of a big project. And it's just the line that runs through everything. It's like, how do we get to the next step? I feel like we're stuck. How do we get to the next step? It kind of ties all of our conversations together. Obviously, it changes at different levels. The first, like I said, the first real step that we got to, um, pretty quickly. It was like 30K, 40K a month in recurring revenue. We were doing all the work, and we brought in an operations manager who is great. She does not have any experience. She did not have any experience in the industry, but she's great. She's pulling it together and figuring it out as she goes, just like we are. And how we ended up on deciding that was going to be the person we brought in first was we had an honest conversation about what we were bad at, right? Benjamin and I are really good at forward momentum, like speed to action, just getting things done, flying by the seat of our pants. We are not good at details, consistency, like following things through to the end. We are not very good at that. And I knew specifically we needed somebody, whatever their role was, on the team that was a detail person that could make sure things didn't go off the rails. So that was our first hire. Um, and I think that, if I went back and, hindsight, right? It's like if we went back, I might try and recruit somebody that had experience in the industry for our first hire so that we could learn from them, as opposed to the other way around, right? Like we're trying to teach our ops manager how to do ops management, but like we don't know how to do it. So it forced us to learn and grow and get her up to speed as quickly as possible to make sure that hire made sense. Is that a fair assessment, Benjamin, of kind of like first step?
Yeah, it's like the whole process has been, it feels like whiplash. um I think the thing that allowed us to grow so quickly and so uh in this fashion was from day one, it was like we want to create a business that runs itself. And then it's like went to 7FA, and that was like literally like the core of their thing is like have a business that like runs itself. It's like Josh Nelson's on stage, like having a great time doing the whole thing, and he's got this like massive 500K a month business that it's like being taken care of by itself. And it's like that's the dream, right? It's like you have this massive agency that doesn't require the person that created it to really like do anything day to day. I'm sure he goes in and does whatever, but it's like he's not talking to a client. Like somebody leaves, it's like he doesn't even know. It's like, and it was like, how can we get to that tour? Because like I have a local business, and Duncan had a photography and videography business that like was like it's him doing the work. It was
Yep.
me doing the work at my business, and it's like, how can we have a business that does the work as a business should. It's like that it kind of operates by itself. And I
Mhm.
think that vision of like whenever the work got too much, it was, yeah, like this is the problem. Like we shouldn't be doing this much work. We should be hiring somebody now.
Yep. Yep.
And then so we continued to hire people faster. Like I had people recommending us like you shouldn't hire somebody yet, you shouldn't hire somebody yet, like you should
Yeah.
wait, and we didn't. We just like we hired them, and we just focused on keep growing
Yep.
instead of like, well, we're gonna have enough work for them. It's like we kind of take that dip each time to be able to take that next like hike up.
Yep.
And that's the pain, right? Uh it's like lower your profit margins. Like, we haven't squeezed this company for a ton of profit because like we have reinvested almost everything back into our staff
Yep.
to grow and scale. And it's like we hit seven figures. And now it's like, okay, now we have literally a full team of people. It's like we just hit seven figures. We got all of our key players and staff, our key players in place. All our procedures are ready to hire on. Like we could double our team size in a month, and like everything would go relatively smoothly. Like we are ready to scale, but we've had this in mind the entire time of
Yep.
like scaling but not like us not being the bottleneck.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. And I always go back to like that first um, conference that we went to, and Josh Nelson was like, "Yeah, here's how you get there in a year." And Benjamin always just like says whatever's on his mind. It's one of my favorite things about him. And he was like, "Hey, can you ask him how we get there in 3 months? What if we wanted to get there in 3 months? Like, what would that look like?" And I asked, and Josh was like, "Yeah, I mean, you just do all this stuff, but more and faster." And we were like, "All right, cool." Like we took that to heart, right?
But okay,
Um,
let's go there because I think
yeah,
that even takes a certain mindset to say normally this is a at best case 12-month process.
yeah,
Like tell us about what is your mindset to make you say, that's cool, but I want to do it in 90 days. Like, what were you thinking to even make you go there? Because I think from a maybe perception standpoint, everybody's like, oh, I can just come in and I'm gonna make $1 million out the gate. They start and they're like, oh crap, I'm
Hmm.
at 6K and I'm stuck. Like,
Yeah.
what even made you go to even think to ask that question?
Believe I don't know, it's like just believe in it. It's like if you want it, just do it. I don't know. It's like Nike, right? Just do it. I don't know what to tell you. It's like there's a ton of people that do crazy things every day that are crazier than what we've done. Like what we've
Yeah.
done is like sure, like people might see like, "Oh, that's really cool. That's really fast." But it's like compared to what other people can do and the speed that other companies can grow, it's like I mean, it's not unreasonable like you know.
I think perspective is a big part of why, and I also think why we asked. It's like Benjamin has the perspective of being able to. He's seen businesses that are larger that have grown faster, and he has family that are business owners, operators. So I think that's part of it, but also Benjamin, if I may speak for you, um, has this thing where he doesn't really care what the status quo is. Like if he decides that it's something that he's going to do, like he'll just try everything and throw everything at the wall and make it happen, even if it doesn't happen on the timeline that he thought it was going to, or that we thought it was going to. He has that forward momentum at all costs thing that makes the really successful business owners and entrepreneurs successful that I don't even have. And like I recognized that when we started. It's like you point Benjamin in a direction and say, like, here's what you need to do. He'll just go do it. Like he doesn't really have any stop and think and figure it out. It's like, oh, this is what I need to do. He has conviction about what it is and that he can make it work, and he'll just go take action. So that's a part of the big part of what makes our partnership successful is his, bias toward just like doing stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then let's go here. So now you did it in a condensed timeline. You're continuing to grow. What is something you believed about business early on that you feel like I had to unlearn? Like, dang, why did I start doing that? That's not smart. I need to unlearn this and redo it like this so that it's more sustainable.
Yeah, I think for me, it was primarily the um, ownership over tasks and getting things done in the business. Like if I'm not doing it, it's not going to get done right. But the reality is, everybody on our team right now does their job better than I did their job when I was doing it because they're doing it with their full time. I was doing it with a portion of my time. Like if I'm trying to do a task with like a couple hours, maybe I can work really hard and get a lot of stuff done, but their full attention is on that role. So they're doing it better than I was doing it when I was doing it. So I had to unlearn um, I had to learn how to delegate authority over tasks, not just tasks, right? It's like this is your responsibility now and I am trusting you to get it done. Although obviously we have checks and balances, right? Like make sure stuff happens, but don't just delegate tasks, delegate authority. That was kind of like my big lesson that I learned pretty early. So, how about you, Benjamin? Anything? Or you just always been perfect?
No, I don't I don't like look back and see anything that we did wrong. I only see experiences that we've learned to continue moving forward.
Yeah. So
Um,
what was one big takeaway? There's been so many. It's kind of hard to pick
yeah,
one.
like one take. I can't even like I can't
Yeah,
even bring something
whiplash.
up.
Yeah, for me, like that delegation thing really hit home when we brought Maggie on, right? Um, Alex was phenomenal. She's
Hmm.
our ops manager. It took some like training and getting her up to speed, but when we brought an account manager on that had, um, you bring an A player on the team and they like instantly change your life and everybody else's life in the business. That was when it really clicked for me that like you're not building a business, you're building a team of people that build the business for you. That was like the it really all clicked when we brought her on and things just started working better. So,
Yeah, it's when we had like a timeline of like a month or two for her to like, train and get used to our system and learn about account management.
mhm.
And then it was like a weekend and it's like she was like getting on calls like she's been with the company for 5 years.
Yeah, she was ready to go in about a week. We were like,
Yeah, and
"Oh."
I was like, oh, okay, so we can just pay for like experience. We don't have to train people. Like, why would anybody train anybody?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just
It's like
like,
that is so much more expensive to train somebody for a cheaper labor than just pay
yeah,
somebody more, like what, 20% more, 30% more to just like do it.
yeah.
Like, um, so when that was probably the lightning. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like don't train people like like we bootstrapped the whole thing. Like we started for we had $0. Like we invested, I don't know, like high level subscription, every month. I was like, oh my God, how are we gonna make our high level payment this month? We had $0, like no
Yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah, literally no money.
yeah, bootstrapped to like, typical like, start from nothing. And so I assume a lot of people are going to be in a situation where they try to hire like somebody cheaper and like, oh, I'll just train them. And, it's only going to be like $15 an hour instead of like 25 or $30 an hour. But the time that it'll take you to train them and then like it might work, it might not versus like just getting the person that can do the job perfectly,
Mm,
putting them into place, paying them more, like take a pay cut as an owner, like suffer because like then you can focus on sales and you don't have to worry about your clients leaving because you got somebody in place that's going to take care of them. So it's like
mhm.
so you will grow. It's like don't take the short-term profit for at the
Long-term suffering.
long-term suffering. Yeah, something
Yeah.
something something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that leads into like, we're talking about hiring people to help grow and scale, but the reality of how we even got to the point that we can hire people is all that like grinding and marketing and sales stuff on the front end. And I'm happy to talk about how we went from like, whatever, 6K to that 30 to 50 range as well, if you think that would be helpful. But yeah.
Um, no, I think that explains it. Tell us to somebody who's starting. So let's like the old you before you came in a seven figure agency. If you could tell them what are three things that you do not need to do if you want to get to a million, because I think everybody thinks there's like some magic pill, which we know it's not. So
Mm-mm.
hey, if you want to make $1 million in your agency or more, do not do what?
Hmm. That's a good question. Um, what did we do that was horrible? Um, let's see. Do not uh do 50 different types of client acquisition strategies. I see a lot of people spinning their wheels, sending out cold DMs, and then next week they'll do cold email, and then they'll run an ad for a week, and then they'll do cold calls for a couple days, and then they'll do this and that, and they're like, I can't figure out why any of it works. Um, Most of the time, what you're lacking is time and reps with one client acquisition channel. Like, figure one of them out. So don't get distracted. Even if you're in a niche and you're within your thing, don't get distracted by multiple ways to get clients. Get really good at one. That's one thing I would say don't do. But
I'd say don't overthink the service.
yeah,
um, it's like sure you got to have a product to fulfill on and do a good job to keep them, but like there are massive agencies that like take local businesses for 4 or 5K a month and like basically do nothing.
yeah,
um but they have very good sales, so it's like focus on sales. Don't focus on like providing the absolute best results at the beginning. Like you can provide the absolute best result once you have a team in place
yep.
that can help you give the best customer service, give the best, hire somebody that's like the best at PPC, hire somebody that's the best at
Mhm.
SEO, website design, whatever it is that you're doing. Like hire somebody that is better than you at it, um, but don't focus on it. Like you need money to achieve it. So it's kind of a weird stepping stone where like you got to get enough money to hire the people to fulfill like the best service possible. So it's a
Yep.
bit of a like you know you got to like play around with it. You got a month to like sell as much and then you got another month to like figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. In the beginning, a lot of marketers focus on like, yeah, I'm going to do a really good job. the marketing, at the fulfillment side, and they get stuck because they're too focused on that and not focused on sales and marketing. Like I say it all the time, it's like sales solves everything, kind of jokingly. But the reality is, like, you need cash to do all of the other things that you want to do. So you got to keep them too, obviously, and that's where the good product and like actually delivering results comes in. But like if you don't have clients to retain, then retention doesn't matter. So like figure out sales and marketing first, everything else will follow.
Yeah, like there's that guy that spoke on stage that got to 20 million, and it's like his first year he got to a million plus in the first calendar year, and it's like his story about his first client with the new agency that he started.
Mm.
He's like had no team, nobody, met with somebody, sold him a $15,000 a month retainer like package, and then he immediately went out and hired people to
Yeah.
like fulfill that package, but he had nobody,
Mm-hmm.
like, but he got the money and then went and got everybody that he needed to basically fulfill on that. And then
Yep.
it's like, then from, Bob's your uncle from there. It's like,
Yeah.
just keep selling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. We got to wrap. But before we go, tell us this. What is one money lesson you had to learn the hard way that you wish somebody would have told you earlier?
Money lesson. Oh
One
boy.
money lesson, like, dang, they ain't tell me this was going to be so expensive or whatever the case is.
I should not be. I'm not the one to come to for financial advice. I'll tell you that right now.
I already knew all the problems. I
Yeah,
already been told everything, and we still did it anyways.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
We're
like,
still making mistakes.
yeah,
Okay,
But I
money
think that's
lesson.
cool though, right? Because
Yeah,
I think some people think, oh, when I get to $1 million, I've already figured it out and
yeah.
everything's going to be running perfect like a machine. But to your
Mm-mm.
point, like it's constant learning. It's constant. How do we get better and what can
Yep,
we tweak and what can we adapt and evolve? So, I mean, that's a
constant.
good answer to me, I think.
Yeah. That's the honest truth. It's like you if you ever feel like you have it all figured out, you are kidding yourself, and that's where you're going to get into trouble.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's tell the people. So if they want to connect with you, hey, these guys are cool. We want them on our podcast or we want to work with them. How do they get in touch with you? Name of the company, etc.
Yeah, the agency is called the Mobile Home Guys. The website is mobilehomeguys.ai. You can check us out there. There's like a calendar link on there. If you want to book a time to talk to me, you're going to get to talk to me directly, and I'd be happy to chat.
if they want to talk to me, they got to send me a letter.
Carrier pigeon, preferably.
That would be better.
Yeah,
If somebody carry pigeons something to me, I'll fly out and meet them.
yeah, same.
A carrier pigeon is wild.
I'll be
All
there.
right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for coming on this episode, y'all. These are the type of people we're bringing in. People who are not just giving you theory, stuff that sounds cute, but people who are actually going out here, putting in the work, executing, playing offense, and doing it. So, with that being said, we will see you guys on the next episode, and we can't wait to bring you more guests that are killing it. They're buying, they're selling, and they're just straight up excelling. So, until the next episode, take care of yourselves. See ya.